Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We have an amazing episode planned for you called What If Your Planning Doesn't Work, right? Think about it. What if your planning doesn't work? Tonight on Planning Phase Syndicate, we are going to do three different things, right? The first thing we're going to do is we are going to go over some of the new drops that happen. Yes, so we want to go over a few of the new ships that got released for Resistance. Also, if you tuned in last week, we did a a live draft, which was only so. Some of the audio issues we had. You can check out the YouTube edited version on YouTube for free if you'd like. But we're going to go through the list tonight, essentially because we want to figure out who is going to be the champion for the first round of draft championships. Then, if we have time, we're going to kind of go through different list archetypes and stuff like that. Without much further ado, let's bring in my co-host. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you all tonight?
Oh, living the dream, man. Had a busy weekend. Gearing up for the new Ghosts content that's coming out. Having a good time doing that. Watching you try to figure out your buttons all over again was a very good time.
That is true. That is definitely true. We played a little bit of Ghosts of Tsushima. If you haven't actually played that game, and you have a PlayStation, it's actually a really awesome, fun game, that everybody should check out. I think it's a PlayStation only, though, isn't it?
It is. PlayStation and PC, I believe. I believe they have
PC as well.
Crossed over to PC as well, but I'm not 100% on that.
Cool. Yeah, it's a very, very solid game for anybody who plays it.
Yeah. Matt, how was your journey tonight or this week?
We had a super busy weekend. We did our first large show for our new business, so it was pretty good, very effective. We were able to get a few new clients, of course, and sell some goods. So that's always a good time, right? No Ghost of Tsushima for me, but gotta get that work and make that paper, right, Charles?
That's right.
Make that paper. All right. Anyway, without further ado, then why don't we talk about new content, right? New content sounds like fun. I think new content's fun. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the new ships from Resistance. And I'm bringing them up here on the screen.
Yeah, I looked over these. They look pretty interesting.
So the first ship that we have is called Chorus Capellilium. I think that's how you say that, Charles. You want to be the guy that says the name of it, because that's not me.
Just say Chorus.
Just say Chorus.
That's what I would do.
Capellum is how I would say that. Chorus Capellum. Yep.
Sounds like a college course.
Right? It does.
Yes. Okay. So Chorus Capellum. Before you engage, you may choose one ship in your firing arc at range 0 to 1. If you do, transfer one green token from that ship to yourself. So essentially, if you think about it, with this ship, because it's an I-1, you're going to essentially be able to take anybody's unused tokens, green tokens, and use them for yourself. Thoughts, Charles?
Nice little initiative, too.
I enjoy it. It's like a Y-Wing version of Paylob almost, where you can steal from an opposing ship.
Yeah. And so it's like the opposite of Hera, though, isn't it? It's kind of the opposite of Hera.
Other ships, I guess you just take from other ships then?
Yeah. Now, you do have to be at range 0 to 1, but it does have the open firing arc, right? So it doesn't say front arc, it doesn't say side arc or back arc. So if you put like a dorsal turret, it would be really cool. I don't know. So I guess it depends. You guys don't seem very enthused.
All right, no, for me, I'm sorry, I'm responding to M Masked FT in the chat. What I was going to say is he's saying it would be good to do swarm tactics It would be. I also like that it's a PS1 pilot personally, or Initiative One, depending on which version of it you started playing. So TMT, sorry. I say yes, it would be cool, but then also nice that you basically get to soak up or suck up any unused token at the I1 initiative. What I think would be pretty good to do. Also, good evening, Psych J.
Yeah.
This is like
And so
an
if you think,
anti, and it's like an anti Moldy Crow or an anti what's the Scum pilot that's a Hawk pilot that allows you to spend the 2 charges and hold on to your green token
Gamut
during
Key.
the end phase. Gamut Key. So this is an anti for those, because if you keep your token beyond the end phase when it moves and takes its actions, or no, wait, this is before you engage.
Yeah,
I
this is before
apologize.
you engage.
Disregard. Before you engage. So still you shoot, you're shooting last, so you get to strip a token after they've already found themselves safe or something like that. I kind of like it at the low PS because it allows you to. It still prevents Gamut, because if you don't have a token to save, then
Yeah, I think I like this. I do like this too. I hope this comes in very cheap because this is an auto include, right? If you're going to run more than one resistance Y-wing, this just becomes an auto include. And you can you got one agility. There's no reason to ever take a focus at this point. You always take the target lock, put your targeting computer on, right? You're going to get your calculate. You get to use your calculate, right? Essentially because of the fact that you're going to you can use it on defense, and then by the time you go to shoot, you just steal somebody's focus that didn't need it.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
or
I
else
think
would be good with intimidation. Use it as a blocker.
Yep, that too. You can put intimidation on, make it a blocker. Okay, so I guess I only is it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What was that, Chris?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say it would be also nice. It's just like seems like it would be a good solid piece. Like I was saying to me, Resistance is starting to see a little bit more of the rebel feel. Personally, I'm really starting to see that come together as part of their working together on that. You know what I mean?
So is our next pilot chorus Capillium as well?
It is.
Yes.
I guess I copied all three of the same damn picture because I'm super smart.
Just looking over and I'm like, oh, he's got to keep scrolling down. He's got to. Oh nope, there's another one and another.
Yeah. So give me just a second. I'll actually just go ahead and update the document here. So ramble about something for 30 seconds and I'll be right back.
So hey, I'll ramble about.
How about
something.
a dad joke? It's a chorus.
Oh, look at you! Hashtag dad joke, Dale. So here, I'll derail us a little bit and trigger Chris. So last week, Chris and I played a game of X-Wing against each other, and I was testing out a list that I may or may not have borrowed from Psych J, running Scumhan with Kira and Trickshot, and getting that 5 to 6 die, range 2 to range 1 shot, as long as it's obstructed, and then not allowing Chris to get the obstructed dice for his defense because of the ruling and the way that Kira works, in addition to Trickshot and Scumhan. And then when Chris shoots back, because of my cheating. Yep, exactly. And then when Chris shot back, being able to use the rock in order to gain extra defense dice for myself. That was a fun thing. Yeah.
Just wait till we get to the list reveal. How about that? I'm going to leave it at that. When we get to the list reveal,
I can't wait.
There is a possibility of it. All right, next
ready?
ship.
That you may or may not have stole the mechanic.
Matt, you want to read the next ship?
Teshlo.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that can't pronounce names.
No, I just did. Wilsa Teshlo. I just said it. Would you like me to read the card too, Chris, or just the name? Oh, okay. All right. So, after you perform an attack, if the defender was dealt a face-up damage card, the defender gains 1 strain token unless it chooses 1 non-reoccurring charge from one of its equipped upgrades and loses that charge. Sorry. interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, so
initial
one's different.
thoughts is, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna think on that one a minute. You guys should go on it.
All right. In my world, this is kind of like a reverse Joy Wreck-Off, right? I don't like it personally. For me, it kind of looks like what they're trying to do with these Y wings is force a yeah, you're right. It could be anti-Zamtech, and they're trying to force some sort of Y-wings, Y-wing swarm, right? Which I don't even think you can technically have a swarm with Y-wings, because I don't think you could fit 6 of them in there. But we'll see, I guess, depending on how point costed they are. Because I think the most you can get in a list is like 5. Yeah, no, you can fit 6. You could fit 6 naked in Rebel, but I don't like this. I think this is dumb personally. And I guess like I would almost say, well, Wilsa should be like a I-5 at least, right? Because okay, so if this is anti-Zamtech or anti-false transponder code tech or contraband cybernetics tech, right? We don't see crack shot anymore. So it could be that, but at the exact same time, for this type of a ship, unless this points cost comes in like under 40, I would never run this, because to me it just feels pointless, because most of the time they're just going to take the strain, right? I mean, I would just take the strain. I'm not going to give up false transponder codes. And that's if I have
take a strain all day.
Yeah, we need a ban, Chris.
I got it. Working on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree. Masked TMT, I agree. It is good for anti-Zamtech too, Psych J. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like I don't know. It seems like it's very situational to me. And like Masked TMT says, I think that I'd take the strain most of the times.
Yeah. I would. I will. Yeah. If this, I will tell you, if this comes in at over 40 points, it'll never see the light of day. There's just no reason to run this, because even if you put advanced torpedoes on it, that's still 5 points. You're putting plasmas; those are 7 points. I don't personally, I don't foresee it being worth anything. But again, this is the first impression. Now that we know about this, we might be able to go ahead and play around with it a little bit and see if there's like a combination that will work. Yeah. Yep. You're right. Because of the initiative, that would be it. All right, Charles.
I could see it as I was going to say, I could see it as an I-4 pilot, just so that you have the I-4 pilot, and on the off chance that you get to trigger the ability, then cool. But if not, it's kind of like not Joy. What's there's the other
the
Cad Solus.
Yep.
Like, oh, cool, he gets an ability, but he's an I-4, so I'll take him because he's an I-4. So, you gave me this one. So I would assume it's a soft C. So I would say I Threnali. And just based on what little understanding I have of the Star Wars universe, I would venture to believe that it's a Twi'lek. I don't know for sure, but maybe. After you fully execute a maneuver, if you moved through a friendly ship, you may perform a free evade action, which, to be fair, Y-Wings don't normally get evade actions. So I could see this working with
Charles. It just says perform an evade action.
You still perform an evade action, but it doesn't count as your action for the turn.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I could see this working extremely well with another small base ship that's at like an odd angle. You know what I mean? Being able to set up at like a caddy quarter angle to where you're only having to leap just the barest of corner to get through. If you go over that ship and are still able to catch it and get your free evade, why not? Y-Wings are not notoriously fast ships. So for me, it's one of those things where like it'd be a cool thing to do, but I don't know. I think I agree, Psych J. It seems better on a T-70, or some sort of a different ship. I like the ability.
We have the T-70 with this. We have the T-70 with this already. Same pilot.
Oh, do we?
It's just a pilot reprint. Yeah, I've ran that pilot before, and not for the ability, just for the I-4.
Yeah.
A lot of these abilities seem like they're really fun one-off mechanics, but it's more of like when you get the opportunity. I wouldn't build an entire list around being able to jump over my ships with one Y-wing. Like it'd be a really fun thing to be able to do. I think it would be more useful if it was if you moved through a ship, not necessarily a friendly ship, but if you were able to jump through an opposing ship, you might get a little bit better use out of it. But I don't know. It's an I2. It might be fun.
And to note, the pilot they're the pilot for this one, and the T-70 is an I4. This is an I2. So, again, I think really it's just I think this one is a silly. This one's silly to me too. But I'll take this any day over the last one. How about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. This one to me is, well, you're never counting on your evade dice anyways in a Y-wing, but I guess it has a tendency to live a little longer, but only if you do this like special hopscotch thing, which just, I don't know.
I think the benefit to it is that it's the low initiative, so it moves first. So if you can keep a high initiative ship with it, so that you jump the high initiative and then the high initiative jumps you again, you might be able to get it to trigger a couple of times during the game, but not often enough, like I said, to build a list around it. It's just kind of a fun one-off ability, I think. Trying to branch out, give the Republic, or not the Republic, the Resistance a little bit more fun and variety. But
I think it would be good with this ship, though, right? Chorus Capellum. There you go. I think it would be pretty good because
have that extra.
Yep, it's the I1. It's in front of you. It moves first. You hopscotch it. It hopscotch you the next turn.
Yep, that's true.
I don't know.
Completely nailed that, Chris.
Yeah, I think
I
that
love
would be
Mass
fun,
TMT says
it looks like FFG ran out of ideas for abilities.
I love it.
Some days that's what it feels like.
Oddball. 5 oddballs.
Hey, we don't have oddball in the lat. There you go. Where's my hashtag oddball in the lat? Because I'll tell you what, he's in one episode for 13 seconds, and it needs to be. Excuse me. It needs to be there. We need that. I need that. Oh well, oddball is not that good. So. I don't like oddball personally, but just my personal opinion.
I don't know. I think, so Mass TMT is putting out that the oddball's actually good, and we should check the XTC Scream to think. I'm going to say that it's most likely the pilot flying the oddball that's probably got a lot to do with that. So, but each person's mileage may vary.
All right. So those were the releases that I saw this week. I didn't miss any of those, did I, guys? Those are the only 3 that you saw, right?
Was it.
That was all there was.
I'll double check AMG really quick, but I think
GSP had some exclusive ones or something like that came to them, but because they're not official, we're not gonna go through those tonight. You could just check out the GSP stream from last week, and they go through them. So no need to double copy that. So all right. Well, why don't we switch back? Now we can talk a little bit about the draft. So, what you guys haven't seen all the lists yet. Just to give the viewers kind of a heads up. So, what we did is a similar style draft, and what we're doing is starting a draft series. If you'd like to be part of it, you could join our Discord. !Discord in the chat will get you the Discord link. You could join our Discord. We have a site where you can post ideas for streaming. Essentially, we're trying to fill up our Thursdays with streaming content, so we decided to what we wanted to do is do a draft amongst the 3 hosts plus our friend John. And what we wanted to do is essentially compete against each other with a restricted and banned list. So I'm going to bring up those lists, I think, Charles first, or not the list, but the draft first. Why don't we do that? And then, Charles, if you want to go over real quickly what the bans were, and then we'll jump into how we made our lists. Unless you don't have it up.
I'll have it up in a split second. All right, so the pilot bands, there were no Vader, no Kylo, no Zam Wessel, no Anakin Skywalker, no Ten Num, no Han Solo, no Sun Fac, no Ahsoka Tano, no Blue Squadron X-Wing, no Blue Squadron B-Wing, no Trade Federation drone, and no Tirani Kolda. All 12 of those pilots were not able to be used in any form or function within the overall builds. As far as upgrade bands, there were no auto blasters allowed, no Zam Wessel crew, no disciplined, no thermal detonators, no advanced sensors, no stealth device, no proxy mines, no hull upgrade, proton torpedoes, no Count Dooku, no Discord missiles, and no false transponder codes. So all of our lists were built solely on those not being allowed in any level. So you cannot run any of those pilots in any ship, and you cannot run any of those upgrades at all.
Yep. Now, I want to point something
Catherine.
out.
Hey, Brock.
I want to point something out real quick. If you look at the last 3 upgrade bands and the last pilot band by Matt, all 4 of those are specifically pointed directly at Chris, because I'm the only one that must like to run Separatists, even though John does it all the time too. But everybody decided, everybody said no to Chris running Trade Federation drones. You don't get Dooku, which is fine because I don't have Zam anyway, and you don't get Discord missiles. So
what's the FTC have to do with it?
Well, you use FTC on Zam all the time, or you use it on fire sprays. You get hit with it too, that's true. But
yep.
I think it was more aimed at...
I don't know, it was a little bit from Chris, a little bit for John. Sorry.
The guy that picked Django.
Drones.
Now, I will say that where I'm looking forward to looking at these lists, I will tell everybody on the stream, I've not looked at them yet. So you will be getting the complete hot take from me. I have not looked at them in any way yet. But the other build requirement was, while we could not use the pilot bands or the upgrade bands, we had to use at least one pilot that we drafted in every single list, and each list had to be a different faction. So no double dipping into Scum or to Empire and building multiple similar faction lists. So every person had to build 3 individual faction lists, and each list had to include something that was drafted by that person.
Yes. So I'm going to go back real quick to the anti-separatist tech that y'all threw, because if you go through John drafted 0 separatist pilots, hence saying he wasn't going to fly separatist because he couldn't according to the rules. So you all banned shit just to say, screw you, Chris. That's what it was. Everybody said, screw you, Chris, and separatist.
Still sour grapes.
Anyway.
I mean, to be fair, you drafted Grievous, Zango, and a Bactoid drone. And that's it for Separatists. You didn't really go Separatist hard, so Captain waved the Separatist flag. Only drafted 3 Separatist pilots out of your opportunity to draft 12.
Right.
Yeah, I don't need to draft more than one of those 3 to have a Separatist list.
Oh, I could have chosen to draft those, but chose not to. Is that what we're going with?
No, there was no reason to. I can't draft. Okay, I can't draft a drone because I only get 2 of them. You got rid of Zam, so there was already going to be gotten rid of Zam. Brock, I actually did draft an HMP. I drafted which one did I draft? That was my last one.
The Bactoid drone.
Yes. So we can run generics, but only 2 of them. If you drafted it, if you didn't draft it, you couldn't run. You can run however many you wanted. So you'll notice the one thing.
Way of saying that he was hoping that nobody would pick Trade Federation drones, so he could run as many of them as he wanted.
Yeah, I have an 8 list. I have an 8 ship droid list that I like to run. So draft Darth Maul. I could have drafted. You're right. I could have drafted Darth Maul, but if they had not gotten rid of Zam, I would have 100% drafted Zam, and then I would have drafted Darth Maul right after that. and I would have ran that. So the idea behind this draft, right, is for us to not be playing just specifically meta list all the time, right? So we're trying to break up the meta and play something a little bit different. So most people don't run 8 droids. I would have ran 6 droids and Grievous if I could have, with Discords, 100%.
There you go. So part of that was like, let's be fair. I hate running against all the droids. I do. I just do. So that's why I decided to ban it, because I don't want to fly against it. So I removed the whole meta.
The funny thing is, you probably would not have actually had to fly against it, because what we're going to do is bring 2 lists. And what you would be able to do is take the 2 lists and to say, I'm not going to run against that one.
I don't have to even take the chance. No chance. 100% guaranteed.
Fair enough. All right. So why don't we go through the list? I think we're going to do, since John's not here tonight, John's actually on vacation, so he couldn't be here tonight. We're going to go through John's list first. That's what we're going to do.
Take it apart. Make fun of him.
Well, I am going to laugh a little bit at this, and I'll probably lose, but John drafted Dash Rendar, and he is going to run Dash Rendar with Trickshot, Bistan, Perceptive Copilot, Outrider title, for a whopping 121 points, coming in heavier and fatter than Vader. In a defender. Then he's also going to run Lando in the YT 1300. So Matt, what's your thoughts on this?
That Dash with support, it does seem like a good list. I agree with you, Brocker. It does. You're looking. You got a lot of. There's a lot of trying hard in the dash rundown. Like it's basically a double tap and dash. So yeah, I think probably decimate dash as quickly as possible. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot because he's gonna hit you hard. He's gonna hit you hard twice, but I think that's where my money would be at, is just attempting to get Dash Rendar off the board as quickly as is physically possible.
Yep. And John brought 3 debris on purpose. So his Perceptive Copilot gives him the 2 Vu focuses that allows him to double tap Bistan. He is an I5, so if you could figure out how to strip some of his focus tokens on I6, it might be beneficial. And then obviously he's running the Outrider title, which I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on this Outrider title, but I don't run Rebel, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know whether that is going to be a good thing or not. Essentially, he's going for a Han Solo, which I don't know why he doesn't put Kira on here then, other than he needs the focus token for Bistan. I don't know.
That's exactly right.
Because you can't run Kira. You know what? You can't run Kira in Rebel. That's why. There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, I thought she was scum.
Perceptive Copilot too. He wants to double focus tokens. That's just what I want.
Yep. And Lando, essentially, what he says is after you execute a blue maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship, and that ship may perform an action. So my guess is both of them are going to be going ultra slow, with Lando in the back. So you're going to have to get around Bistan to either take Lando off, or you're going to have to go after Bistan and just flat out go after him. Charles, thoughts?
I built a 121 point Guri one time. It didn't last very long. It seems safer in a dash.
It probably is.
Personally, I would not have Lando. Lando is fun because you get the free action to be able to pass. But I would probably try and put a couple of more support guns in there to try and pull people away from dash, because the Falcon is not 2 shots. If you get against a some sort of a swarm with 4 or 5 shot list, the Swiss cheese out of these big ships, I think you're only getting 3 shots around. So if they can outshoot you and out damage you, it hurts.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. The second list John brought, which this one's not much of a surprise. He drafted Soontir Fel. He loves his Soontir Fel. He's going to run Soontir Fel
in the game
with with Predator and Shield upgrade, Whisper with Fifth Brother, and Captain Feroff and the Reaper with just Darth Vader. Now, the interesting choice is he wanted the 3-point bid versus taking passive sensors. Oh, you can't fit it because that's right. You can't fit it because it's 4 points because he's an I5, not Echo. Echo's the 2.
Yep. Can't fit it.
Well, I don't know. I would drop the shield upgrade off of Soon's here, and I would 100% put on the passive sensors on Whisper. But that's just me. And maybe that's just because I hang out with Matt too often. But
all I can say is knowing how John flies Soontir, he is super careful with Soontir and super protective of Soontir. The way he flies it, the way he dodges, and he would rather not take a shot with Soontir than get shot at in Soontir. And so with that, this list plays really strongly into his particular flying style. So I can see exactly why he built it. The only one that doesn't make sense to me is Feroff in the Reaper. But as we saw in the last GSP tournament, 4 Reapers are viable. So who knows?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to take that Reaper and just run it down everybody's nose. And then he's going to flank with the other 2. That would be my guess.
Vader as often as possible.
Yep.
Yeah. I could see. He likes to be super duper careful and super protective of Soontir. It doesn't surprise me that he's off to got a shield upgrade on him. Doesn't surprise me at all out of John. Feroff is going to be doing some big, like, he's putting pretty hard on Feroff there, though. That to me is kind of like a little bit of a weakness, possibly. It's going to be the easiest to hit. He does have Vader to pull a token, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I am also surprised that we don't see the targeting computer on Whisper as well, Brocker. That is a 3-point upgrade that would fit in those 3 points. Surprised it's not there. So he is going for the bid there. So yeah. So Brocker suggests you put a targeting computer on Whisper. So yeah.
And that's kind of I would drop that shield upgrade and I would put. You're right. You could put targeting computer or passive sensors, either one. That's just
in this case, like I said. Playing against John for as many years as I have, nothing on this list is a surprise other than for me, Vader Crew. I've never seen John run a list that had Vader Crew in it, even back to our 1.0 days, so that caught me off guard. But the rest of this is pretty standard fare when it comes to John's Empire list.
All right. So let's go to the next one. His last list, which I'm hoping one of the 2 of you have to play against him first, not me. He has Torkel Mux, and I despise. If you don't know the show, I despise Torkel Mux with a passion. I hate him.
I thought I unseated that with my Han list.
No, he is a greedy mining slaver. I hate him. Anyway, no, you didn't unseat it. I still hate Torkel Mux more than anything else. He's gonna run Torkel Mux with Protector at Gleb. Engine upgrade, Moldy Crow, and 3 Skull Squadron pilots, which I thought was a little interesting too, because they're I4s. Because you could take I1s and then put something on them. And why are you not running Joy? Joy's the exact same price. I don't know.
Yeah, but you have to, in order to have Joy work, you have to have
ability to trigger. You need to have a torp or something on her in order for her ability to trigger. Otherwise, it's a Skull Squadron.
The engine upgrade on Torkel Mux, though, that's an interesting one to me. I'm surprised on that.
It allows Torkel to keep up with the Fangs that want to fly faster. It
I
gives
get that. I mean, is it that big a deal, though, for it to take a red boost, though? I mean, to me, that's not that. I mean, because Torkel usually has, because you charge the Moldy Crow ahead of time, right? I don't know. Just saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Good.
Apologies.
No. See, that's the thing.
There, though.
The engine upgrade doesn't give a red boost.
Yeah, it takes your red boost away.
The Hawk has a red boost already, so you get to change from a red boost to a white boost.
So it allows you to.
What I'm trying to say. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
I was like, I've actually seen this used. Well, Charles has used it against me more than one time, but I've seen it used like on Kanan because it allows them to ensure that they can always use protector at Gleb, and it allows you to not have to deal with that stress. So you can boost one turn and then use protector at Gleb the next turn. You can, and you're still within that range too. That's the idea behind it. I like the engine upgrade on the Hawk, honestly, a lot. I'm a little sad that they don't have like a linked action with it, but I guess it's probably for the better because Torkelmuch sucks so much. And the only reason I can see he took the 4s instead of the 3s is because he wants to shoot before losing them. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of.
That is going to be the hardest part, I think, for John. He and I did one is a long time ago, but we swapped lists. And he had to fly Fangs, and I had to fly Interceptors. And Fangs and Interceptors fly directly counterintuitively because Fangs want to joust. They want a knife fight. And Interceptors want to take pot shots and stay out of arcs. And so when you fly a Fang like an Interceptor where you're trying to arc dodge and stay out of arcs, often you catch yourself without a focus, or you catch yourself at a range 3, and we all know Fenn Rau tends to pop at range 3 even with a focus, and the same so on. So I'm really interested to see John switch up his playstyle a little bit because Fangs want to be aggressive. So I want to see what John is able to do with them.
All right.
I'm going to guarantee he's going to be aggressive with them. I'd be surprised if he doesn't do anything other than stick a little bit behind with Torko, take a good shot, but he'll just be going there to drop one to one, and he's going to nuke it with all 4 of the Fangs. I'd be surprised if it's anything other than that.
Right.
Fair enough. All right. Who wants to do whose list do we go after next?
You do mine. That's fine.
Oh, I was going to say, let's do Matt.
All right. Matt. You want to read your first list?
Sure. I'll start with my Empire list. Okay, so Empire, I went with Echo in the TIE Phantom, who I drafted with Fifth Brother and Passive Sensors, Grand Inquisitor, which I also drafted naked, and then 2 Inquisitors, which again I drafted with Foresight for a total of 197 points. Seems like a solid list to me. Not sure what everybody else's thoughts are, but definitely a solid list. It has a lot of punching power, I think, with Echo. The only other thing I'm going to have to worry about is maybe putting out the DPS with the Inquisitors, but that's why the Foresight's on there. Hopefully those double taps will be active, and I'll be able to get a little extra oomph in,
Yeah, I think those Foresights work very well on those Inquisitors. I think that's a good choice, right? You're going to be able to take your evades. You're going to use your Force to shoot your Foresight. It's a free mod every time you shoot on a blank. So I think those are good. I like the Echo choice. I'm a little surprised you used Grand Inquisitor in there too, and didn't take like another Phantom along with them, but I've seen you run in the past 2 Phantoms and 2 V1s, so I have seen that has been a Matt special before.
Yeah, I've run that before. To me, I wanted a couple different things in this list. One, yeah, there is some meta stuff. I'm not going to be stupid and be like, no, there's not. But some of that is really kind of not what you'd expect to see in a group together. So though it is kind of meta, it isn't especially meta. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I love those V1s though. Yeah. Those V1s are really good. Charles, your thoughts?
I hate V1s.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm looking forward to this list. I want to see how it flies.
Yeah,
all right. Now for Matt's meta list that he definitely is 100% using as a meta list and will probably win whatever matchup he has with this list. Go ahead, Matt. Take it away. Your Rebel list.
So, because I want to win a game, I decided to run a full meta list because I'm playing against people who are better than me. So please keep that in mind. Kyle Katarn in the Hawk 290, which I did draft with Jyn Erso crew Moldy Crow title. Harrison Dula with Prockets. Harrison Dula in the RZ1A1 A-Wing and with the Prockets. Benthic 2 tubes in the U-Wing with Perceptive Copilot and Pivot Wing. And then Lowrick in the Ozatuk gunship, which is not meta, but this thing is going to own.
Yeah, those Ozatuk ships. Okay, so Matt, what does Lowrick do? I've never heard of this guy before. So why did you pick him, and what does he do?
So with the idea and thoughts of like a lot of focus tokens being available, Lowrick has the ability to, after a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 becomes the defender, you may spend your reinforced token. If you do, that ship gains an evade token. It isn't something where I will see a ton of it possibly being put out there, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I can always get a focus from either Benthic or Hera, or even Kyle. So why not having the ability with Hera throwing a focus, you could also do this and have Lowrick give an evade. So Jin also letting a focus become an evade. It just gives it that little bit more synergy in, to me, giving it just a little bit more possible survivability in what I like to call my Rebel Brick.
Yeah, and I guess I've just never heard of it. Like these Ozatuks are the original HMPs. There you go. That's before Count Dooku and the Separatists made made them better, because they're the same thing to some extent, except for you get 3 dice versus 2. So you do technically have that, but you don't get a side slip, and you don't get to get the re-rolls from target locks. So there is that.
No, they're definitely a worse HMP, but they do hit with 3 dice. And what this list does need is a little bit of oomph. Though Benthic throws 3 dice, and so does Kyle, as long as you're in the front arc. It's not something that you'd look at and be like, oh, the damage coming in is going to be unsurmountable. So that's one of those things.
All right, Charles, thoughts?
Not really on this one. This is Rebel Beef, Rebel Synergy, whatever you want to call it. I don't like the Ozatuks. I don't do particularly well against ships with 180 arcs. They're a bit harder to dodge. But other than that, yeah, exactly. I do well when I'm flying them, not when I'm flying against them, though.
I see. Yeah, I like.
Other than that, no,
Yeah, I like the inclusion of Lothric, and I'm glad to see you didn't make it a completely meta list. There you go. Probably because I stole your Garvin, but that's just
Yeah, I would have definitely done Garvin, but somebody did that just to remove it from me. So talk about the teaming up on people.
When
that
you
was Chris,
when you officially drafted two specific pilots, we knew what you were building. All right, your last list, sir.
Sure.
What's your last list?
Yeah. So my last list is, I wanted to do something a little more fun. I didn't realize it was meta list, but apparently it's a meta list. So sorry. It's a Ray Poe. It's a Ray, which is, it's just standard Death Ray, which is Ray with Corsella, Finn, Rose, Contraband Cybernetics, and Ray's Millennium Falcon. Poe Dameron, which is just Poverdrive Poe, with Heroic, R4 Astromech, Prime Thrusters, Overdrive Thruster, integrated S-foils, and I couldn't take proton torpedoes, but I was able to take plasma torpedoes. So plasma torpedoes, of course, to round him out.
Yep, and
yeah,
I think
So it's like Jay is saying, it's like Poverdrive and Death Ray. They're 2 solid pieces. I just thought 2 solid pieces, give it a shot. I wanted to have some fun.
Now, in one of the XCC lists, and I know you guys probably aren't like everybody's keeping up on XCC. I have been following it, weirdly enough, and just because we streamed a bunch of the games for the first rounds, but they have somebody that has a Poe with Feroth paint on it, right, or Feroth spear paint, and that's good. Like that is a upgrade nobody has really been using, and I really like that. I like your Prime Thrusters. I understand the logic in the Prime Thrusters. It's a typical build, but that Feroth paint was something that was kind of like a unique add. But I mean, in that type of list, what is Matt going to really? What are you going to do with the extra points anyway? Like it's a 2-ship list. Yeah. What are you going to put? You know, I mean, I guess you could put Prockets on Ray if you wanted. You know, I don't know. And we didn't.
I thought about
FTC,
doing
so.
I thought about doing the what is it, the advanced sensors or whichever one gives you the add focus blank to a hit, whatever that one is. What's that one? I thought about that one, but decided to do the prime thrusters.
What is the advanced optics. Yep, it's advanced optics. That's what you're saying. Yep.
Advanced optics. I thought about it, but then it will be tempting to use it, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to do this. Gives him more like maneuverability, because for me, having the ability to do something more maneuverable is probably going to be best in the i6, just because it's like I have a tendency to sometimes be a little bit over aggressive. So this will kind of keep me down, if that makes sense.
And I think so far you have the biggest bid. So you have the biggest bid at 13 points right there. So
I figured, yeah. And then somebody did ask why I ran Contraband Cybernetics on Ray. You're right. Ray doesn't necessarily need Contraband Cybernetics, but 3 points. Had plenty of points for a bid. And to me, I have ran it before where I was unable to drop, or having people expect me to do a blue to drop. And instead, I was able to do a red and still come out swinging. And it's sometimes unexpected when you still have Contraband Cybernetics on, right? Because people are expecting you to do that blue. So sometimes it does kind of give you that ability to kind of come out swinging, if you will.
Fair enough. Charles, thoughts?
I hate both of these ships.
Oh, all right.
You're welcome.
Jesus.
I've died more times than I count to both of them. I'm hoping I draw this list, and I'm hoping that the gods of dice variants smile upon me, and I'm able to just blow them both out of the sky. Other than that, great job on the building.
I think you have a list, though, Charles, that does have some counter to this.
We'll have to see. Let's look through mine.
All right. So we're going to skip ahead, and we're going to go to your Rebel list first. You want to go ahead and run that down for us?
Sure. So this list will probably not win anything, but in the interest of drafting both versions of Fenn Rau, and then attempting to build a list that included both versions of Fenn Rau, I did draft Fenn in the Sheathipede shuttle, running him with Leia Organa crew, so that they get those lowered difficulty maneuvers, so that makes them a little bit more maneuverable. I did also draft Wedge, so that I had something else to pair with Fenn there. Running outmaneuver Wedge just seemed very apropos. Proton torps are blocked, so I had to swap to Plasma, and then of course the S-foils. And then in the interest of keeping all I6, I did run Harrison Dula in the B-Wing with Crackshot, FCS, the Blade Wing prototype, which gave me a gunner slot, and then running Suppressive Gunner. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't fly Rebel. This is not anything that I'm going to be able to judge. It just looked like fun. There's no meta here. It's a whole bunch of nonsense, and I have no idea if this is going to be good or not, but it looked like fun. So
I want to point out you made a 666 list, and I have always been a proponent of a 666 list. Like I run Soontir, Sienna, and Vader together. But I knew I would never get Vader and Soontir Fel in a list together, so I banned Vader so that John could not have Vader. That's why I did that specifically. But on the positive side, I've never seen Hera ran in a B-Wing at all.
Neither.
Her text says, while another friendly ship at range 0 to 1 performs, a defender performs an attack during the modified dice, you can transfer the focus, evade, or lock tokens to that ship, right?
Same as the A-Wing, isn't it?
It's the same as the A-Wing. Yep, it's 1 to 2. Yep. So you can be defensive with Hera. You can go in, let somebody try to take Hera off the board, and just pass your token over to Wedge. Be like, here you go, Wedge. You want a double modified shot without maneuver? Merry Christmas. So I think that's hilarious. What does Fen do? I've never seen anybody run Fen in a Sheathipede ever.
So give me just a second. I don't do it enough that I knew.
Or an enemy ship in your firing arc engages. If you're not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token. If you do, that ship cannot spend tokens to modify dice while it performs an attack during this phase. Interesting. To help you out, sorry, Charles.
No, you're good. I've never seen anyone run it like ever. So I just wanted to try something different. It's a ship that I've never run. It's a pilot that I've never run in that ship. So I figured it'd just be a fun
and it's
overall list.
You get to run Fen Rao.
Yeah, stopping mods is good. Always good.
All right. So we'll go to your next list is a Republic list. And I think you're the only one that ran a Republic list in this tournament. Why don't you run down your Republic list for us?
Let's talk about Republic. I'm sorry.
I drafted a whole slew of Republic pilots with Ricole, Padme, and Luminara in there. I also drafted Obi in the Aether Sprite, but opted to go a different way. So I did the Luminara, which allows me to modify dice and control dice results with Patience and CLT. Naboo Fighter with Amidala, which allows you to only change 1 die when you're modifying something with it basically turns a focus into a calculate. Passive sensors and plasma torpedoes, and then 2 paper airplanes, 1 with Shaak Ti, with Patience and Predator. And then listening back to the draft, I remember Chris saying that he deeply wanted someone to build a Republic list that had Yoda in it. Whether it was him running it or somebody else. So I decided just for the heck of it that I would stick Yoda in the Eta 2 Actus. Yoda is after another friendly ship at range 03, spends 1 or more force. You may spend a force, and if you do, that ship recovers force. So it allows me to keep everybody, Lumi and Shaak Ti, full on their force. Hopefully it allows me to be a little bit more maneuverable with them. It allows me to be a little freer with the spending of and just using Yoda as a kind of an after effect support ship. And then I put Patience. So it's a very patient list, which is something I'm not. So we're gonna see how that turns out. But again, something that I built for fun. I have no delusions of grandeur that I'm gonna win anything with this list. But it seems like this is going to be a lot of fun to at least try it out and fly. So
I could tell you right now, I'm ecstatic that you use Yoda.
I'm aggressively patient. That's right.
Yes, we 100% banned auto blasters. That was my first ban for that. So Charles not being able to take auto blasters on his ETAs is awesome, and he still ran them. He still 100% ran them. He went ahead 100%. And ran them. I guess I don't understand the Padme choice other than you drafted her. I am very, very excited because you know what Yoda does, right? You know what Yoda does. Yoda essentially is going to spend his force instead of other people, and then his patience just lets him get the force back before the end of the round, right?
Yep.
So
he's a force battery.
You literally can spend 2 force and get both back every round. Yes, lack of jamming beams. I have jamming beam in one of my lists, so by the way. But you have the ability, and then that means Shaak Ti every turn can save one or 2 of the tokens. She can always do that because Yoda's just going to give her a force. It's that's crazy. Yeah. Like, I think Yoda's a little overpriced in my opinion, personally. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see you put this on the table, and I'll tell you what, I will happily run against this list. And if we get down to the wire, here you go. Here's what I'll say this. If we get down to the wire and we're within like 10 points, I will purposely let you shoot to try to get the points you need to win. and then I will decline to shoot so you can win that match, just so we can see Yoda win a match. That's all I care. 100%. So.
All right, you guys heard it here now. Just so you know, he's on the record.
I have 9 witnesses.
I'm just saying. Now, if we get to the end and you got to get like 100 points, then if you can score 100 points, I guess in one turn, then sure, I'll still concede to you. You can have
if I could score 100 points in one round, I deserve to win.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
This is an interesting list. I got nothing to say about this bad. I really don't. I think I
love it.
I'm excited to see it on the table. I mean, there's nothing here that's overpowered. They're all relatively solid pieces. Yoda's a little untested, but other than that, I mean, there's nothing wrong there. There's no weak link. Yeah, I'm curious. Just as long as you fly them evasive enough on the ADAs and make sure you pull your evades instead of like going full aggression. Yeah, no. I don't see a problem there at all.
You drafted Obi-Wan in the ETA, didn't you? Or no?
I did. Obi-Wan in the Delta 7.
Oh,
didn't I? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna go look. Somebody drafted.
Yeah, I did the one in the ADA. I drafted in the ADA.
All right. I was just say because otherwise, that's how I would have ran that with Obi, Padme, Shakti, and Yoda. That's how I would have done that. But that's I
had originally built Obi, Padme, Shakti, or not Obi, Padme, Plo Koon, and Barriss.
Yeah.
So running
though. Obi and Delta 7 is expensive.
Right, but you could fit 3 Delta 7s and a Naboo fighter in there. They don't have anything else on them. There's not any toys. But I have had a really bad string of luck with the ETAs. And statistically speaking, they are more in my wheelhouses, high agility ships. And I really want to be better with them. So I decided I was going to try and run them again and see if I have any more luck with them.
All right. Now we're going to go on to Charles's bread and butter.
That's right. This is the list that had the most thought put into it. So I built this list completely different for a non-tournament version. And I thought, well, I'll draft these pilots. We'll see just how bad I get screwed with the upgrade bands. And we'll see what happens. And luckily, I was able to get both of them. The only bands that really hurt, obviously, were the Zam Crew ban, which is something I did. Auto Blasters was not fun. And Proton Torpedoes kind of hurt this list. So took some things out, switched some things around, took off Plasma or Proton Torps and put on Plasmas. Switched Dengar around a little bit because he didn't have Punishing 1 in my original build or the R5P8. He was running Zam Crew and some other things. Fenn Rau stayed unchanged because that's what Fenn Rau does. Outmaneuver and advanced Proton Torpedoes. And then Gamut Key in the Hawk with engine upgrade, as we discussed earlier. Having that white boost is really key. And then Protectorate Gleb on the Hawk so that I can keep green tokens on either Dengar or Fenn Rau if need be. What's up, Matt?
All right, I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
Because this, to me, is the weirdest upgrade. Advanced Proton Torpedoes on Fenn Rau.
Mm-hmm.
Please explain.
Go ahead and ask. Yep.
Go ahead. Fenn's ability is at range 1. I get to add an additional die. Advanced Proton Torpedoes is 5 dice at range 1. So Fenn's ability makes it a 6 dice range 1 attack. If I can trigger Gleb properly, I can take the focus the round before the attack, keep that focus, fly in with Fenn, take the target lock, and have a 6 dice double modded range 1 shot with Fenn Rau.
Gotcha. Now I see it. I thought Fenn Rau was
Nope.
Yeah. I thought it was only at range.
So, Matt, if you play against this list, you 100% have to figure out how to not let him outmaneuver you with Fenn. Because if he outmaneuvers you with Fenn,
if I outmaneuver you at range 1,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah. And with no FTC,
good night, whatever you just have there.
No FTC makes it so that he keeps that damn lock. Now, I have a question though, Charles. I have a question.
Yeah.
So you have
What's up?
marksmanship, right? And Greedo. Which one
Yep.
triggers first?
So the thing is if you are in, I can pick because they both trigger after dice are rolled. So if I shoot and I roll one natural crit and I have one hit, I can choose to trigger Greedo instead of marksmanship to
Okay.
get rid of the Greedo token so that I don't have to eat crits in return.
Yep. 'Cause that's the one thing. That's the one thing. That's the one thing I always question. And I only question it just because I've never seen somebody run marksmanship and Greedo, but it makes sense, right? You know, plasma torps it doesn't work as well, right? But
Yeah, no, with
without
proton torpedoes, I was able to have, on average, if I was able to catch you in that bullseye arc, I was able to get three crits on a double modded shot. So,
yep. Matt, any other thoughts?
Deadly little group you got there.
Yep. So Matt, if you have not
I
practiced
see
against
what
this
you did
list, you should definitely play that. Charles, I will tell you, though, you did not beat Matt's bid. So Matt officially still has the highest bid in this tournament.
had someone not banned advanced sensors, my scum list would have been outmaneuver Fen and outmaneuver Guri with a 180. I think it comes in at 184 to 187. So I would have had a 13-point bid. But unfortunately, advanced sensors got banned, so Guri just became kind of pointless. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Yep, no problem.
Mhm.
You banned Sam first, so we'll just point that out.
That hurt me just as much as it hurt you.
No, it didn't. You don't play Separatists. You would not have played Separatists.
Zam Crew hurts me just as much as it hurts you.
Nah.
Yeah, I would have played Zam Crew as well.
I would have
Matt
banned
banned Zam Pilot.
Oh, that's right.
Matt
That's
banned
right.
Zam Pilot.
And the crew.
I apologize.
And the crew.
No, I
I
apologize.
banned the crew. You banned the pilot. I banned the crew.
Yeah,
Oh, we can
it
just
doesn't
look.
matter.
It's right here. Yep. No, Matt
That's all good.
banned this
Yeah, I banned
pilot. All right. I take this back.
Yep.
Screw you, Matt. Matt really gunned hard for me. You should be gunning hard
I
for
gunned
John.
hard for you, and I gunned hard for John. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like
I did.
I've only made
You
one
guys
cut.
you guys hit Charles fine. So I was like, well, Charles is already getting neutered, so I'll hit John and I'll hit Chris. So, and other people hit me too. John also was going against me. Just you hit me, and Charles got me a little too. So everybody was on everybody. It wasn't. I don't think anybody was like especially teamed up on. To be honest with you,
I think the only thing that I did purposely, I will be 100% transparent and honest. There is no lies. The only thing that I banned purposely to fuck with Chris was Stealth Device. I banned Stealth Device.
I'm the only one that runs that.
Of not running it on fire sprays. I put Stealth Device in the ban list for that reason. There was no other reason because no one else runs it.
Yeah,
just me.
That's why I did. I did the Trade Federation drone so that I wouldn't have to run against Chris's or John's, but probably Chris's. But I just didn't want to play against him. It would probably been yours. Yeah. Because you were the only one that was polling Separatists, but the thing is John might have pulled Separatists.
No, you didn't ban it till the end. It's at the end.
Oh, was it the last one? Well, then it doesn't matter. Then it was just you then. Congratulations.
It was just me.
Sorry. That's
all right.
Fine. I also did disciplined against anybody who wanted that one too. So there you go.
Yeah, that was me too. So anyway.
Well, and John. John loves that upgrade as well, just so you know.
All right. So we'll go on to my list, I guess. So I'm gonna make a blanket statement that I went out of my way to not run meta style list. I do have meta stuff in my list, but I do not run a meta style list. Nothing I have, especially because you killed my Django and my Zam and all of that crap. Nothing in mine is specifically 100% meta. I took meta pieces and put them together. I will tell you, I could have ran 4 HMPs fully loaded. And I'll put the link in the description later if somebody wants to see it. It's just obviously just a cash off. But because nobody banned anything for HMPs, like I waited till the end too. And I was like, all right, well, screw it. I'm just going to work on HMPs. All right. But I chose not to run that list, and I'll get to my Separatist list in a few minutes. I'm going to start with my Empire list. I decided I wanted to run a Swarm, and since Matt killed my Swarm ability in Separatist, I'm running the somewhat of a Swarm inside of Empire. I am running Nash and 5 Alpha Squadron pilots. And Nash, I gave Afterburners to because I had extra points I didn't know what to do with. And I didn't need a bid because it's a Swarm list.
Seems solid.
So you can ask Charles. I played this list against Charles to actually see if it was any good. It was 50-50. It was fun. I'll tell you what, it's a fun list to run, though. I will tell you that. It's fun to fly 6 ships all the same. And they all move the same. I know exactly what they're going to do. Pretty easy. Thoughts?
Solid.
It was fun.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't want to run against it, so that means it's probably good.
Yep.
I hope that it goes against your Poe list. There you go. I'll take it any day.
Sure. That would, hey, if I could pick one, that sounds great. The Poe list would be the one I'd want to fly against too, so I can now maneuver you and just smoke them.
If I could pick the matchup for this list, I would want it to. Yes, like Jay's Disciplined was banned. If I could pick the list that this flew against, I want this to fly against Fat Dash.
Nope. Not well. I don't know. Maybe. You know what? Maybe he only gets it is a double tap. He could take one off the board every round. So
2 of them. He might be able to take 2 off the board every round.
But again, the thing is if you can get into his range 1, that sensor thing where he doesn't get the range sensor 1 dice bonus, he actually loses a dice out of it. It benefits your interceptors and just being able to plug in 6 shots to him. And if you can keep Nash out of the fight, if he does kill one of them, they immediately get that return fire shot. So you're still plugging damage into Dash even if that ship dies. I think this could potentially unseat that Dash, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, Dash is going to be tough.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on to Chris's next list?
That's a solid list.
All right, so the Separatist, it's not meta at all. Dash is the only meta thing, and really he's not that meta. Not with them. All right, so the next list I have is Jango, Grievous, and the Geonosian HMP, which I did not draft, but because nobody banned it, I got to take it. I chose to run the HMP standard with the repulsatory lifts, stabilizers, and synced laser cannons because it's good. I put Impervium plating and Solus 1 on Grievous because why not? Jango, I did a little bit different. I decided to put marksmanship with jamming beam and prockets, and because somebody banned thermals, I chose concussion bombs, and I chose the shield upgrade because why the hell not? If you could take Jango out, I lost the game. If you don't take Jango out before I could do my damage, I win. So the shield upgrade, as Charles pointed out last week on our stream, essentially is amazing to some extent because it gives you that extra health. And so it keeps half points away a little bit longer. Now, shield upgrade is not as good as hull upgrade in my opinion, but John banned hull upgrade. I then chose to run the Slave 1 title with Veteran Tail Gunner. And it's only because I didn't know what else to do with the points, but Veteran Tail Gunner allows me to perform a primary front attack and then perform a bonus butt attack. So hopefully I can run in with my prockets and then just shoot out the ass to somebody else. I would also take this against your Pover Drive any day of the week.
Prockets and then also do Veteran Tail Gunner, just so you know. Has to be a primary. You can't procket and Veteran Tail Gunner. It's primary and primary. But still, primary forward and primary backwards is the same damn thing. It's very, very tough regardless.
Yeah. The prockets are probably pointless, and I probably should have just put the shield upgrade on the Geonosian prototype. But that would have given me, because those are 8 points, or 8 health anyway, and it would have given me 9 health. But that's fine. I like prockets on Jango. And the one thing I do like is because of Django's ability with Slave 1, if I can get around you, it makes things a little bit easier. I don't get my contraband, though, unfortunately, to allow me to do my turnaround maneuver, but no big deal. What I like the best is the concussion bombs, because my concussion bombs allows me to put damage under your shields. That's the only reason I chose those, is because I can put them underneath your shields. So hopefully if I do that, you can block them, and then you'll do the damage back to me.
Yeah. Solid. I really don't have much to say about that one. It seems like they're 3 solid pieces. I worry about the re-rolls for the Geonosian prototype. That would be my only thing, though I don't really personally worry about them, but I think that would be the only weakness, is you might find that you have a harder time having the locks for the re-rolls.
All right. Yeah. Charles, your thoughts?
I like it. It's close to a list that I ran for a while, with Grievous, and obviously it was Zam instead of Django, and then running a bug instead of the HMPs. I have a special hatred in my heart for HMPs. Again, 180 arcs that can move sideways, and I actually hope that I draw against this list just so that I can get some more practice in against the that HMP and see what we can do. So we'll see what happens, but I like it a lot. I think it's going to be fun.
Yes,
all right. My last list, and this is what we were talking about in the intro. My last list is inspired by, I guess, Psych J. So thank you, Psych J, for helping Charles discover a list I despise more than anything else. And if Charles had not banned Han, I would 100% have ran Han in this list instead. I despise that combo 100%. And we stopped the game. So here, all right, I'm gonna tell. It's a little story time. We were in the middle of the game, and Charles ran. What did you run? You ran Han, Bossk, and Fen, right? That's what it was.
No, Han, Bossk, and a Hawk.
Okay. And
I want to say it was Gleb and the Hawk.
Yeah, probably Gleb or something like that. And so what happened was,
or Paylock.
Han gets the extra dice because of the obstructed shot, plus he gets his trick shot, plus Kira. So he comes in, can throw frickin', I think, would you throw 5 dice at me? You threw 5 dice at me.
Stressed.
I didn't get... Huh?
It was 6. It was range 1 and you were stressed. So it was 6 dice at range 1.
Yeah. And I didn't know at the time that I didn't get the extra dice because of that. Now, I had 3 dice on my interceptor, so it was like, all right, whatever. It is 3 dice. But then I was like, I get my 4th dice, so 4 on 6. I'm okay with that. I think Han is fair in that aspect. When you add Kira, and you can literally with Kira, you can literally just ignore that obstacle, but it only affects your opponent. That's it. Nobody else. It doesn't affect you. You're like, oh, I get to still get the bonuses from the freaking thing, but you don't get the goddamn positives either. So I'll tell you. So I got so tilted. I wasn't even drunk either. Like, that was the funny thing. I was pretty bloody sober, and I literally, I was like, all right, hold on. I don't believe you. Oh, hold on. Let me send you it. He literally sent me within 3 seconds the thing from the AMG site. And I was like, this is still bullshit. And I was so pissed that afterwards we looked it up and we tried to find a different way to figure out how to kit Han out. So I know why. So just so everybody knows, the reason Han was banned was so that he didn't have to fly against this. That's literally why there's no other reason you would have banned Han, is so you didn't have to fly against it. So I said, fuck Charles. I'm going to fly something similar to this as much as I can. And I chose to put Asajj Ventress with Brilliant Evasion, which I don't know why I have that, but I added that because I had the points. 000, Contraband Cybernetics, and Shadowcaster, with Lando and the Falcon, with the title Lando's Talido, Kira, BT-1, 4-LOM, Trick Shot, and I then took Unkar Plutt and Constable Zuvio, and I put Protector Gleb on Zubio and Ketsu on Unkar Plutt. And I did this because everything I hate about Scum, and I don't really hate Scum as much. I really just hate Torkil Mux. In the long run, I hate Torkil Mux so much. But what I really hate is the way sometimes they miss how Scum interacts. And in my personal opinion, the trick shot Kira Han is a F up on their side in FFG. That is a negative play experience from hell if you get that off. And so if you know what you're doing, every new player, that is one of the largest, that is a huge negative play experience. And my idea is how do I recreate this to say, if I can play this against Charles, screw Charles. Like you can eat all of the scummy crap that you get from everybody else. And you're right. I probably could have put, I guess I didn't even think about that. I could have put that hotshot gunner on there too. That's what Charles had.
Yep.
On there.
Prevent me from using the token and then use hotshot to strip it.
Yeah, I would have had to drop. I would have had to drop either Ketsu or Contraband though. But I guess I could have done that. But the idea is Asajj will come in. I got almost all fours. Asajj comes in. I'm going to tractor token people. And if I don't draw Charles, then I hope I draw Matt, because if Matt thinks he hates flying against a droid swarm, you're going to hate being freaking tractored 24/7 all over the place.
Yeah.
Bye-bye to green dice and bye-bye to when I throw you onto a rock and can't shoot. How about that? Oh, you're Ray? Oh, going to throw you into a rock. No big deal. Have fun, Ray.
Get 3 tractor tokens to do that. 3.
Yeah, but with Ketsu, you don't remove them at the end of the round.
Yep.
One.
Yeah, but he has two tugs. So if he can get both of those tugs at range 0-1, he can take your action.
I get it. I'm not trying to say it's impossible, but it isn't super easy.
And the Shadowcaster title is if he shoots at you with Asajj, you get one too. So there is a potential for 3 in a round that you can't shake. So
there is. Definitely.
Yeah, because Ketsu says you don't remove any tractor tokens. It's not one.
Tractor tokens. Yeah.
It's all. I get it. That's why Ketsu's on there. It's to fuck with Matt and Charles. Because they hit me the hardest.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this tournament as a whole. I think we all We all built some whacked out lists. We all built some fun lists. I'm looking forward to all 4 of us sitting down and getting this on a table and having some fun with it. So,
all right,
yeah, it's good look at stuff. Actually, that's very scummy. It's very scummy. That's the one thing about all of our scum lists is they're very scummy, with the exception of John's. John's is more just really painful. Yeah. The scum lists in this are very unique, which is really cool. It's kind of like you're seeing a lot of the versatility of scum in you guys' choices. So nicely done, both of you guys. So, yeah.
Now I will say, Charles, part of this is, as much as I rail on scum, and Matt will tell you this, because one of the big things when I played Destiny, if anybody played Star Wars Destiny, is I like different weird lists and different win conditions. I don't want the run and gun. I don't want the gun and run away type list. I don't like any of that. That's not as much my thing. I want something that's different and unique. And part of the reason I don't run scum as much as I do, A, is because I don't own as much as other people do. And B, when we play online, I play a lot with Charles, and Charles likes scum, and I play with Matt, and Matt likes scum and Empire. And so it's kind of one of those things where I've never ventured into scum for those reasons, but I like the control aspect. I like the weird things. I still stand by 2 things. Torkil Mux is bullshit and he should be banned from the game. And the other issue I have is that Han Kira trick shot thing. That's stupid. That is a FU to anybody that's normal. And I think our group needs to make that a priority to figure out how to get that into top cut and get that on the GSP tournament roster so that it starts making cut all the time. I think that has to be top priority just so that we can get FFG AMG now to say, all right, we're going to do something about this ruling because we need to change this because it's wrecking too many things. And maybe it's just because Chris is angry and I like to rail against things. That's a thing of mine. That's what churns my dials, folks. At least this week it did. Last week it did. This week I didn't play any X-Wing because I was on vacation. But
Well, I was gonna say that actual ruling came down, so it could be used on land on Han on Scum Han because they came out at around the same time because it was that Solo movie. So, I mean, that was why the ruling came down, so that actually could be played like that. So, just so you know, I think that it is as intended. I'm not going to suggest it isn't very scummy and also very BS, but I am going to say that I believe it is as intended, just so you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've also seen it ran with Tobias Beckett too. So,
anybody have any last thoughts as we close this out?
I'm just ready to take you guys apart.
I'm ready to play some plastic ships, man. The only thing that would make this better would be if by some small miracle I was able to land a plane ticket during a weekend that you, John, and Matt were all off, and we could figure out a stream setup to where we could actually put this down on real tables instead of through a virtual setup. That would be the only thing I can think of that would make this better.
If by some weird chance somebody wants to donate a plane ticket to Grand Rapids, Michigan to Charles, literally, that is all that it takes to get him here. We can make everything else work as long as we have a couple week window. We have places for you to stay. We have couches you can crash. You have family up here, so there's that too. So if anybody wants a plane ticket round trip to Charles, there you go. That you can come up. We can do this in person. We have the capability of doing this in person. We have the cameras. We have 2 cameras that we can use.
We have the technology.
We just financially, I can't afford to pay for Charles to fly up here for a weekend. But either which way, anybody wants to donate, you're welcome to donate to our Patreon if you want. We'll make sure it gets used specifically for that. All right. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and wrap up the show tonight? We've already gone, I don't know, like an hour and 20 minutes. And next week we're going to be talking about what are we going to talk about next week? Oh, we're going to talk about what lists are good lists. That's what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to have a conversation about, what are meta lists, what are some of the different types of lists that you can have, different styles of play that you can have, and we're going to kind of go through that with everybody as well. And we think that'll be a fun show. So on Thursday we're going to be doing our streaming some games. So if you want to sign up to if you want to play on stream on Thursday, jump over to our Discord. We have a sign up in there. Or you can message me on Discord or Facebook, either which one, and I'll answer. We'll take anybody that wants to do that. I have commentators. I just don't have people that want to play on stream. So if anybody wants to play on stream on Thursday, we're welcome to take us. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another amazing Planning Phase Syndicate. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.